When creating or sharing materials with students, what kind of demographic balances do you strive for? So are you trying to demonstrate equal relationships, match demographic proportions, or are you leaning more toward marginalized identities to counter the trends? So for an example related to gender, and unlike the article, I'm going to include non-binary within this. So if you're trying to go for equal relationships, are you going to have 1/3 female representation, 1/3 non-binary representation, and 1/3 male representation? Or if you're going for matching demographic proportions, are you going to go for, these are hypothetical numbers, 50% female, 1% non-binary, and 49% male representation? And if you're going to go lean towards more marginalized identities to counter the trends, so for example, leaning towards 70% female representation, 20% non-binary representation, and only 10% male representation to counterbalance the overabundance of males within CS materials. And whichever direction that you end up going, when might an approach like this unintentionally communicate messages that a certain demographic is not welcome within the CS community? In other words, does the pendulum then shift the other way? So if we look at gender within CS and say, well, there's an overabundance of representation of males, should we then shift the pendulum so that we mainly focus on females' non-binary representation? Does that then unintentionally say males are unwelcome in CS education? And just like my question about dehumanizing, I don't know. Again, just thinking out loud. And it's something that I would love to see more research on and more conversations on within the field.
This excerpt of the CSK8 podcast is from episode number 70, which is titled Eliminating Gender Bias in Computer Science Education Materials.